So here we are back again for another epic English match of StarCraft. And there was lots of good matches this week, some crazy stuff happened, but I've chosen to cast this game. It is Firebathero versus Deer. And the reason I picked this game is because it has Firebathero in it. Now, he is my favourite player, I have to say that, and Firebathero hasn't played for a lot of weeks, so it's awesome to see him back. And at the moment, Ace is losing 2 matches, so Firebathero needs to win this match for Ace to bring it into the Ace match. Now, if you don't know who Firebathero is, that is him there. He is the biggest baller of all time, because if you've ever watched the match Firebathero versus Savior, he beat one of the best players at the time. It's probably an hour-long match. I think Klazart casted it. It's a must-see game. His like science vessel's got like 30 irradiates. It was pretty epic. And not only did he win, he beat Savior, but he danced around Savior's booth and did a dance on Savior, which was quite controversial at the time. But more about Firebathero, I'll just quickly talk about Deer. Deer is a Protoss player, and recently, I'm going to give away some spoilers, so if you don't know what happened in this week's game, don't listen for the next 10 seconds. But recently, Deer broke Flash's winning streak, which was, I don't know, I guess it was Deer's skill. Like, basically, Flash, he built turrets but cancelled them. He didn't seem to scout the robotics facility, so I guess Deer put it in a crazy spot, but I'm putting it down to Flash defeated himself there. But I guess Flash got greedy, and Deer was there to take advantage of it. But well done, Deer, taking out Flash's 14-game winning streak in the Pro League. Well done. And Deer is a bit of a Terran specialist. If you look at his stats, he's played a lot against Terran. I wonder, like, I don't know whether that's planned or whether that just happens. They have some sort of guess about which maps to put people on, about who they're going to be up against. But he's up. Deer, he definitely beat Flash. So can he beat the other best Terran player of all time, Firebathero? We will find out. So here we have our match. We have got, as they click accept, we got Firebathero is the Terran in the bottom left corner, and that means Deer is the Protoss in the right corner. And please give me feedback, so I'm kind of new to casting. People give me a big feedback about things to say, but this channel is basically for StarCraft fans, so if you've got any feedback or game suggestions, let me know. I'll see what I can do. At the moment, I'm just doing 1 or 2 games a week, but we'll see how we go with that. And I was saying before that Firebathero is a baller because he's not the best player, but he does the craziest things. Because Firebathero is known to be weak against Protoss. So in one MSL, how it works is you get to pick kind of which bracket you start in. Firebathero put himself in the all Protoss bracket, which is quite a baller move. That was Bisu was in. Bisu was kind of the best Protoss at the time. And Firebathero in the first game actually beat Bisu, which was such a baller thing to do, but unfortunately he didn't make it out of the group. But he's always entertaining to watch because he does things like that. Like, people say Firebathero is crap against Protoss, he just goes and chucks himself in the Protoss group in the MSL. And the other thing he did, there was one match where you can play a different race. You just have in Pro StarCraft. I think that's still a current rule. You just have to let people know before the thing. And Firebathero is one of the only other players to play a different race. In one of the pro matches, he chose to play as Zerg, which was another baller move. He did lose that match, but it was just epic to see the balls of Firebathero to just try stupid things and hopefully succeed. And his dancing around players was quite controversial. He did get reprimanded for that, but it did make the game entertaining. He has turned his dancing down. So I hope Firebathero wins just so Ace has a chance to go to the Ace match, and just so we get to see possibly Firebathero do a dance. So standard builds going on. Sorry I haven't talked about the game for a bit, but a gate and a cybernetics core going up for the Protoss player, possibly looking to fast expand, we'll see, or he could be going for more of a straight tech build, we'll find out. Firebathero with a bit of a forward racks there, probably just to seal off his front door. And floating barracks are really good, just because you can get the Marines close to the base and float it back to your base for the wall. I'd say floating buildings are one of the best things about the Terran race. And yes, Firebathero is doing 1 racks in a CC, which is kind of the safe or standard build. It lets you get your expansion, build up your economy, but without risking the 14cc of having no barracks. As we cut back to Deer's base, he's getting his gas up, which may suggest he might be going for more of a tech build rather than an expansion. But we will find out as on the minimap, Firebathero's probe comes in for a scout. But he's going to be denied. Sometimes SCVs can make it past a single zealot, but not that time. You can also glitch the SCVs through if you click on minerals to like the return mineral function, which is quite OP, but there's no minerals there. And Firebathero sending some marines out. No, he's just coming back to intercept probes, I think. So I thought it was going to be some early pressure, but maybe not. He sees the zealot on the ramp there. He knows the Protoss player is not expanding. So we see one goon out. A second gateway going up here. So more of an aggressive opening here from Deer as Firebathero goes and just scouts this second expansion just in case. Just looking for proxy robos as well. So, awesome start here. I don't know if I'm a biased commentator, but I have to commentate from who I am. And I have to say I really want Firebathero to win. As the probe just gets turned away there. But if you don't like biased commentaries, tell me and I'll tone it down. But I have to be who I am, and I have to be a bit biased here because I really want Firebathero to win. So the second gateway up here is going to start producing some goons, put some pressure on. We've got 4 marines out as Firebathero gets his factory up, which as a Terran player versus Protoss, you have to transition to a factory because your marines will just absolutely die to anything that Protoss has to offer, unless you're crazy like stats and can win with a medic and marine and tank rush. But that rarely happens. I mean, I've seen Up Magic pull it off a few times as an eBay goes up there. So Firebathero not getting a scout is going to get some protection there from the Robo or possible Dark Templar because he doesn't know what is coming. 2 gates up there suggest it might be Dark Templar, but it could just be an aggressive opening as some goons come out. And they could threaten Firebathero's expansion here, so we'll see if he puts the bunker up as we see one SCV just getting past there, but it is going to get pulled off. So Firebathero being quite persistent with the scout there, but going to get denied. But most importantly, he's going to see that that expansion's not up there, and he's going to know he's going to have to be prepared for some either early aggression or some tech. But it looks like he is prepared. He has got his front door bunker up with the barracks seal in, and it looks like the Marines in there as the first goon puts pressure on the front. And this is always a tense moment in the match here before the Terran gets his first tank out. And why is he lifting his barracks up? Put your barracks down, close that wall. But I don't know if that barracks is too far out though. That might get hit, and he decides to. What's he doing? He can't just bring it back as some goons go under. But no, not going to risk getting his goons on the wrong side of the bunker there as the SCVs come off. And why is he lifting his barracks up? I guess to make it a tight seal. I don't know. Maybe bring it back. Because the Deer could really just snipe that barracks if he wanted to from range and get in that way, but I guess it doesn't get past the bunker there. But he is focusing down the bunker, and there's a lot of goons there, so this could go down. This is always a tense moment in the match there, and it's going quite down to red. And if this goes to red, this is going to be GG here. Like as soon as that bunker goes down, he's lifting his barracks up just to get those SCVs to the front there, which is quite crazy. So Deer's had a lot of gaps in this wall. That bunker almost going down there, and that would have been GG. But luckily, Firebathero saves it as his first tank comes out there. And it must have taken some shots because he's repairing his tank. And that's a lot of SCVs not mining. So there's early aggression really paying off as Deer tries to push this in. He's going for it. He's going for the barracks, but the tank's going to push some things off. The Zealot goes down. The Marines fire from the bunker. So finally siege mode goes up, and that's going to ward off that attack there. But Deer's aggression very well paying off there. He stopped Firebathero from mining from his expansion. And his response to that is, oh wow, he's getting double expand, which I do like that move. He's put the early aggression on. He's stopped Firebathero from mining. But he's done it at the risk of his own economy, so now he's going to kind of counter and get to his 2 bases up there. So I think Deer does have a slight advantage in this match. Firebathero did get his expansion up a bit earlier, but Deer definitely stopped him from mining from a long time there, and Deer almost won the game there. So I'm going to give a slight edge to Deer at this moment. As Deer gets more gates down in a robo, he's going to need that robo for mines and more gates for more of an aggressive army. And if you don't know, StarCraft is like a seesaw. I use this analogy all the time, but you win a small advantage, which gets you another advantage, which gets you another advantage, and eventually the scales tip to the point that you win. Sometimes that can be really boring because the seesaw just tips all at once because there's risky all-in builds, but other times it can be exciting because the game goes back and forth. So as a commentator, I'll try to point out who's ahead, who's behind, but sometimes it is really hard to tell. So 2 tanks at the front there, keeping his front door safe as Firebathero has the 2 factories. Looks like he's upgrading his upgrades for his vultures as an observatory comes up there and some goons in place just protecting him from his mines. So Deer with a slight edge here. He's got the extra expansions up now. He got the early attack in. So what is Firebathero going to do? I think he's going to try with some vulture harassment, but I think Deer is very well prepared for this. But we'll see what happens. Some mines coming out to the map there, being annoying. And as we've seen in a lot of really recent games, mines are just so devastating against Zerg. They are annoying against Protoss, but Protoss players can deal with them better. But Firebathero also looking to expand as well. I don't know if he's seen, yes, he's finally seen now Deer's third expansion, and it's going to, you know, give him confidence to expand himself as that SCV goes in there and just does some harassment on that probe. Going to be a sacrificial scout there. Good work, STV. You died for a good cause. As we cut back to Firebathero's base now, he's just got the 2 factories, getting his third expansion up. And is he going to push out? This would be an interesting early attack here. I don't know if he's going to push out because he's getting his third base up. I think he might just be taking the area in front of his base there to try and defend all his 3 bases as some more pylons go out to prevent the Vulture harass. Vulture's just so good at killing probes as the Citadel goes up, so he's going to be getting Zealot speed there to try and take on some tanks, because as we know, you need Zealots to take on tanks, try to get them to splash into themselves. So yes, Firebathero is just taking positions up on the front there. Terran Army works best in, doesn't work best, but it's really good in static positions there, and he's got the uphill advantage as well. Mines at the front, tanks up the hill, so it's going to be a hard position to break. And Firebathero can just sit there and kind of hold his little ring of bases on the map there, which I think he's going to do until he feels comfortable to push. So it's interesting to see what Deer does, if Deer tries to be aggressive and try to break that, or if Deer just expands. And a pylon going down in a very weird spot there. I'm not sure why. That probe's going to get picked off. I don't know whether that's just going to be a scouting pylon. He was going for hidden tech, but I'm not sure why that was there, but interesting part. As we see some more vultures here coming in for a bit of a lazy harass there. Just going to go down to those. See, there's goons there. These goons are very well placed. Deer is just not having any bar of the harassment. All his bases are protected as he gets his gateways up, his Templar archives, and his Stargates. So he's going to be going for Arbiter tech. And the Arbiters are really good against stasis. To be honest, the Protoss late game tech, it's probably better than the Terran late game tech. The Arbiter has a lot better spells than the Science Vessel, and basically the Terran player can't cast better spells, they just have to neutralize the Arbiter by trying to either kill them with Goliaths or EMP them so they can't use their energy. But Terran's strength is more early game with their early tanks and early mines. So, Deer hoping to get to late game just so we can get those Arbiters out. Armory's going up there, so going to be Goliaths, possibly upgrades, as Firebathero gets more factories down. Finally got his academy up as well, that probably happened a while ago. As he's got his comsats there, and just building a big static position at the front there. As we see Deer is expanding, so both players on equal bases here, but Deer's going to be taking more of the map. As a Protoss player, you do want to be one base ahead. So Deer probably going to try to take the economic lead. Both players have a fairly static army, but not much happening at the moment. A bit of vulture harass, but both players just content to sit in their base and macro up. But to be honest, I think the prerogative should be with Firebathero, because the Protoss player has more bases, and he probably does have a slight advantage from that early attack. So Deer's probably just waiting for Firebathero to attack, and Firebathero, a lot of the Terran players just like sit in their base and go for the epic push at the end of the game, which can be exciting, but sometimes I just do like the Terran versus Zerg, where it's just action, action, action the whole game as the starport goes up for Firebathero. And did I mention I really want Firebathero to win this game? So Firebathero, you better expand or attack. Do something. Don't just sit in your base and do nothing, as he plants more mines in the middle of the map, just to be generally annoying as the observer comes down there to make sure that Firebathero is not expanding. So Deer knows he's going to be a good position with his 4th base up. He's going to be slightly economically ahead as the probes transfer to the other base. And it's really good to see the vulture snipes on the probe transfer, because the probes never get an escort, which I always find weird, as the science facility goes up for Firebathero. So I'm going to look at build some science vessels to possibly take out the Arbiters, which Arbiters are just awesome. Like the stasis just goes down and just like neutralizes a whole heap of tanks. And stasises can win games. I've seen some PvPs where just massive amount of stasis. I think there was one MSL final between, I think it was Bisu and Best, and there was like a stasis on like half of Best's army, and that made Bisu win this game, which was that it was quite a big epic piece of stasis. And yes, I've been following these StarCraft for about 3 or 4 years. I've seen a lot of games, and I like watching how the strategy changes over time, because as we see some Goliaths come out there, so looking to snipe the Arbiters if Firebathero ever decides to push out, just happy to sit in 3 bases and macro up. And this is more the old style Terran, where just, Terran versus Protoss anyway, they just sit in their base, macro up, get a certain amount of upgrades, and then go for the push. But he's going to have to do it soon. Looks like we've got some more Vulture attack here, coming on the attack, but just going to get pushed away by those lots of Dragoons. and Zealots coming out for Deer, so that means Deer is serious, because once the Zealots come out, it means I'm not care about defending the Vulture Harass. I'm going to take on some tanks. That's what having Zealots means. So, like, hopefully Deer maybe pushes out, and we'll see something happening here as he just clears up the mines in the middle of the map. As Firebathero gets ready for any possible recalls, he just doesn't want that to happen in their base, because recalls can be so devastating for the Terran player, just because their army is so immobile and they have trouble getting back to their base there. So Firebathero trying to make a arbiter-proof fence around his ring base. As we see, ton of gateways going down there at the top expansion there. So Deer getting very serious, and it's always good as a Prince player to have 2 different points from where your troops to come out, so you can reinforce in case you get cut off from tanks. As a mine there just taking out that goon. The mine kind of like glitched out because it went invisible, but the goon went invisible, but kind of going down there. So the big army there in the middle of the map. Both players just content to sit in their base there, but Firebathero needs to do something because the Protoss player is just out expanding him. He's got his 5th base up in the corner. It's 5 bases versus 3. Deer is definitely ahead, and Firebathero has to do something. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, the Terran player could sit in their base and push out, but Deer is just expanding so much. His economy is so great that he needs to do it. And I mean, the Terran army is quite strong. He could, like, he can still win this battle, but he needs, the sooner he can push out Firebathero, the better. I'm not sure what he's waiting for. He might be waiting for a certain upgrade, but Firebathero, you have to do something as the army amasses now, so it looks like we're going to see some action. As we have some Goliaths taking down the Observer there, so Firebathero finally deciding to push out of his base. He's off the high ground as he sends his Marines just to be sacrificed to clear up some Psi, so he must be at max. As we see, but the Protoss army is in position. He must have seen it with his Observer, and the Protoss army has the high ground here, so we've got our first engagement. The tanks sieging up here. Zealots coming in. Storms going down. Massive stasis on a heap of the tanks there. There's not many Zealots, though, in the front there, so these tanks might do their damage here, but no, some Zealots coming in. Some reinforcements from the side. So big battle here as soon as Firebathero decides to push there. There's no Zealots, so his tanks might be doing alright here, but it looks like the goons outnumber the tanks here. So the goons actually cleaning this up. So Deer winning the first battle there. There's a lot of tanks there still in stasis as some more to go down from the reinforcements, but Deer winning that battle decisively. I mean, I don't know if Deer should push this without any more Zealots, but the Zealots I'm sure are coming as reinforcements. So Deer retreating there, just doing the old Protoss trick. They wait for the Terran to unsiege and then attack there, and that time it was valuable. And Deer is also expanding now that he has won that battle. So Deer doing all the right things. Deer's not content to take this game home, but he's just going to try and out-expand the Terran there. Just killing his army down, taking another base there. So Firebathero, it's really his game to, it's really his prerogative to push out and try and claw back some of this economic advantage by Deer there. Epic battle there, just the stasis, just taking out so much stuff there. The lack of Zealots was small, was a big factor, but the goons just outnumbered there, possibly with the high ground advantage. So Deer just macroing up like a beast, getting more gateways down. There's more Zealots there which aren't rallied. And come on, Firebathero, you can do better than this. You've got to have one more push. His first push, he made it like maybe 2 meters out of his base there and got pushed back to his high ground position. So epic fail push there by Firebathero, but he's got another chance there as Firebathero tries to expand himself there, which is always good. It's kind of counterintuitive if you're losing, but if you're losing, you do need to be either more aggressive or to expand, just to try and tip the game back in your favor. It's counterintuitive, but you need to take that risk, and that's what Firebathero is doing there. And yes, we have some Vultures taking out the Templars, so massive storms going off there, but as we've seen in so many games, assassinating the Templars is so key to win. With Terran, you can do it with Vultures, with Zerg, you can do it with Mutalisks. And players that assassinate Templars usually have a great chance of winning. And same with that last battle there. Also the Arbiter, if Firebathero could have neutralized that Arbiter, he would have stood a better chance in that battle there. As we see some random mines just going off against the Protoss army there. As Firebathero, he has to try something to get back in this game there. So he's trying Vulture Harass again, but unfortunately Deer has been on top of his Vulture Harass for the whole game. I haven't seen one probe kill from a Vulture, as Firebathero finally gets his expansion up, but he's got no SCVs there, and it looks like that's going to get taken out. Good observing there by Deer, as looks like the ComSat just got cancelled at the exact same time. He's going to try and run that command center away. So Firebat Hero coming up now to defend his holdings. He should be able to take that out, but the army is also at his front door, and that command center looks like it is going to go down there. So Firebat Hero denied another base. No, he's going to repair. No, it goes down. So STV is coming up for the transfer. Tried to repair. Tanks sieging up there, but Firebat Hero losing that base, which was critical. He needs to get the economic advantage because I think it's 3 bases versus 6 here now. Firebat Hero needs to push. He does have a disadvantage in this game. He has to make something happen, either by expanding, which he was just denied, and he has to attack, as Deer is just expanding like a beast. He just wants to try to out-expand the Terran and then just absolutely kill his army there. So they flash distance mining now. I'm not sure why, but here we go. Firebat Hero finally pushing there, and he's kind of in the same position as well as the 2 Arbiters coming for the battle. Again with the high ground. Massive stasis going off almost in the same spot there. Another stasis going down, taking out almost half the army there. Battle kind of in the same spot as last time. But we've got some reinforcements coming in, which is good. Tanks in the background trying to shoot their vultures going in the front. So massive battle. We've got some Templars at the back not storming. Great row of tanks there. So hopefully we've got some massive size storm going down there. Terran with a bit of the high ground, but Firebat Hero pushing that back there. I mean, that stasis was absolutely epic, and of course Firebat Hero big disadvantage, but he's still just holding that off there. But the question is reinforcements. Is Deer's economy just too powerful, and is he just going to keep sending troops in? But Firebat Hero finally taking ground here, camping just outside Deer's natural, setting up a nice position as he gets stormed, trying to defend his tanks there. Arbiters on the ridge, cloaking, scans going down there. Science Vessel finally comes in. Defensive matrix on the tank that was about to die. Nice, as we finally see some reinforcements coming in from the top. And more reinforcements of Firebat Hero, taking that out. Stasis going down. So will Firebat Hero be able to take out a base? He's kind of inching his way to the high ground, which is what he needs to take there. Mines going down at the front here. So Firebat Hero finally pushing out, taking a position. He needs to inflict serious damage in this battle to come back, as a massive minefield goes down there, which is good. It's going to slow down the reinforcements, and Deer's just sending his units in piecemeal here, which could be the advantage to Firebat Hero. His army is more concise, but they just keep streaming in. There's so many reinforcements as the more size storm goes down, taking down that tanks there, and finally some vultures go in for some harass. No, they're just laying down mines, but look at those reinforcements. That's why it's so critical to have a second lie of supply if you're a Protoss player. As you see, finally taking the high ground there, only down to 5 tanks there, but units still coming in piecemeal, still taking part by the mines, which is very good to see. More reinforcements coming in, Firebat Hero, more reinforcements coming in, so this is the critical battle. It's all down to this point. Firebat Hero needs to take out that base and probably his natural there, as he defends more with the mines. Tanks on the hill, he needs to get his vultures in front of the tanks, and Firebat Hero defending, but he's getting attacked from both sides here, which is what you do not want to happen as a Terran player. More storms going down here, and the reinforcements, are they ever going to end? I think Deer's economy is bigger. He's managed to build some missile turrets on the edge there. More mines going down. Massive mine there, taking out all those Dragoons. That was absolutely massive. They must have been softened up there by the mines, but more zealots just keep streaming, and that's going to be very bad news for the tanks there. And it looks like Firebat Hero is almost cleaned up. He's down to 2 tanks there, and those 2 tanks are not going to last against those zealots and Templar. So it looks like Firebat Hero's push was destroyed there. Kind of exciting, and he's still distance mining. What is happening there? He could have built a command center in that time. He had all that pressure on the front there, so Firebat Hero kind of shooting himself in the foot there. He needed to win that battle, and I just don't know what he can do. I say the advantage is too far in Deer's way, as his goons just pick out those SCVs, and I don't think Firebat Hero can win from this position. So I'm going to call it, it is over. He was distance mining actually, he's built a command center there. Look at that massive army as it comes to take down the science vessel. As we've seen some reinforcements coming in from Firebat Hero, but I don't know if his army is big enough. He just sat in his base too long, not being active. If you get a vulture harass, you can sit in your base, but his vulture harass was an epic fail. Deer just out-expanded him, won the first 2 battles. His epic stasis was great. As you see the cleanup now. So Zealots coming in to take out the remaining tanks, getting hit by mines there. Massive storm, and GG from Firebat Hero. So well done to Deer, the Terran Slayer. He beat Flash, who won the 14-game winning streak, and he beat Firebat Hero, who is my favourite player. So well done to Deer there. His expanding was epic, his stasis was epic, his storms were right on, as Deer high-fives his teammates. And Deer's team winning that match. Unfortunately, Airforce Ace did not win that match, and unfortunately, Firebat Hero did not win that match. I'm sorry, Firebat Hero, but I will promise to cast your next game. and I really hope Airforce Ace wins soon. But well done to Deer, he's just been assassinating Terran lately. And I hope you enjoyed this match. Please leave a comment, give me feedback, tell me what games you'd like to see, if I need to improve my style. And next week I might tell you a bit about me as well. But my name is Guybrush, and that is Deer, and I hope you enjoyed this game.